The Egyptian president welcomes Sudanese Sovereign Council chair in El-Alamein. Egypt launches healthcare project to support Sudanese residents with kidney failure. And Egypt's finance ministry to begin disbursing 50% of overdue export rebate payments starting August 7th. Egyptian President El-Sisi has welcomed the Sudanese Sovereign Council Chair General Fattah al-Burhan in El-Alamein. They discussed the current situation in Sudan and regional efforts to restore peace and stability. President El-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to Sudan's unity and security and expressed readiness to assist. Both sides emphasized the importance of supporting the Sudanese people amid humanitarian crises and enhancing bilateral relations, particularly in economic cooperation for mutual development. They also addressed regional security issues, especially concerning the Nile Basin. Egypt's President El-Sisi has congratulated Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney on his recent election victory, reflecting Canadian voters' trust. President El-Sisi wished him success and expressed Egypt's eagerness to strengthen cooperation between the two friendly countries. The call focused on enhancing bilateral relations, especially in economic, trade, and investment fields, benefiting both nations. They also discussed regional stability, with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi highlighting his country's efforts to secure a Gaza ceasefire and the urgent need for humanitarian aid. He also emphasized that a Palestinian state per international law is key to lasting Middle East peace. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has emphasized that the world faces unprecedented challenges threatening developing countries' ability to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030. During the 4th United Nations Conference on Financing for Development in Seville, he called for an international platform to facilitate knowledge exchange, technical support, and access to financial tools. Madbouli highlighted Egypt's successful NWFE platform, which attracted significant investments for green projects, and stressed the need for affordable financing and systematic financial reforms. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has stressed the necessity of adhering to international law to resolve regional crises and the importance of granting Palestinians their rights. This came during a press conference with his Omani counterpart in Cairo, where Abdelati firmly rejected any plans to displace Palestinians and agreed with Oman on the need to dismiss military solutions in the region. The Egyptian Foreign Minister highlighted that Egypt aims to host a conference for Gaza's reconstruction following a ceasefire agreement. Abdelati stated that efforts are underway to enhance relations between Egypt and Oman. The Egyptian Foreign Minister emphasized the importance of establishing a ceasefire between Iran and Israel and highlighted a significant level of polarization in the international arena. Many Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi has expressed strong opposition to any attempts to displace Palestinians from their land. This came during his press conference with his Egyptian counterpart Badr Abdelati in Cairo, where al-Busaidi highlighted the importance of resuming negotiations between Iran and the United States. The Omani Foreign Minister also emphasized the necessity of respecting international law and humanitarian law. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati and Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani have exchanged views on the situation in Gaza. This came during their phone call where they emphasized joint efforts with the U.S. to resume the ceasefire, secure the release of detainees, and to ensure humanitarian aid flows. They discussed the growing bilateral relations and strong ties between Cairo and Doha that benefit both nations. They also addressed the ceasefire between Iran and Israel, stressing the need for diplomatic solutions. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has spoken with Canada's Foreign Minister Anita Anand, congratulating her on her new role. They discussed bilateral relations and ways to enhance cooperation, referencing a recent conversation between Egypt's President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Abdelati emphasized boosting economic ties and encouraging Canadian investments in Egypt. They also addressed regional developments, including efforts for a ceasefire in Gaza and the importance of humanitarian aid, while highlighting the need for political solutions to the Palestinian cause. Egypt, in partnership with the WHO and funded by King Salman Humanitarian Aid Center, has launched a healthcare project to support Sudanese residents with kidney failure. The initiative ensures continuous dialysis and medication for Sudanese patients across key provinces, including Cairo, Giza, and Alexandria. Deputy Prime Minister Khalid Abdel Ghaffar emphasized Egypt's commitment to providing equal healthcare access to its nearly 5 million Sudanese residents, noting over 600 dialysis and 500 transplant patients currently rely on costly treatments. Wadi Nil, Ishtio, and SLS Egypt Pharmaceutical Industries have completed a state-of-the-art kidney filter factory investing 160 million Egyptian pounds. Set to open in July, the factory will supply 65% of Egypt's kidney filter needs, saving up to 3 billion Egyptian pounds annually in imports. The move supports national efforts to localize critical medical supplies, including anesthesia drugs, with plans to launch 22 new affordable products and expand exports. The factory will also enhance maintenance services nationwide. The project follows the lease agreement signed last year, witnessed by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli. Egypt's Minister of Parliamentary and Legal Affairs Mahmoud Fawzi has clarified that the new rent law amendments guarantee tenants state-provided alternative housing. The reforms address the long-standing old rent issue following a 2024 court ruling against fixed rents. The draft laws redefine landlord-tenant relations and end occupancy protections after a 7-year transition period for residential tenants, with the phased rent increases and priority housing rights for tenants and their heirs. The bill excludes downtown Cairo properties and focuses on areas with the most old rent cases. MPs requested updated tenant data, which Fawzi promised to provide ahead of the next session. Egypt and Oman have signed 7 memoranda of understanding across multiple fields. This came as Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati met with Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi to discuss bilateral relations. They held the 16th session of the Egyptian-Omani Joint Committee, attended by Egypt's Labor Minister Abdelati praised the strong ties between Egypt and Oman, emphasizing cooperation in trade, investment in various sectors. They also addressed regional issues, including the situation in Gaza and the importance of a ceasefire. Egypt's ministry will begin disbursing 50% of overdue export rebate payments linked to pre-July 2024 shipments starting August 7, 2025. According to Minister Ahmed Kujuk, around 2,400 companies are eligible for over 25 billion Egyptian pounds in cash payments over 4 years. The other 50% will be cleared against exporters' debts to government entities. Payments will be processed via banks in coordination with the Export Development Fund, and separately the newly restructured 25-2026 Export Rebate Program doubles annual support to 45 billion Egyptian pounds, with 38 billion Egyptian pounds allocated by sector and 7 billion reserved for strategic incentives. Private investment in Egypt rose 24.2% year-on-year in the quarter of the fiscal year 2024-2025, reaching 124.8 billion Egyptian pounds and making up nearly 63% of total investments. According to the Ministry of Economic Development and International Cooperation, this marks the third straight quarter private spending outpaced public investment, which fell 45.6% to 84.5 billion Egyptian pounds. Despite this momentum, overall investment weighed on the GDP growth, subtracting 2.44 points from the total rate. Industrial firms received the largest share of private credit amid an 11.7% rise in lending. The central bank's shift towards easing is expected to spur further private sector growth. The government also approved a development plan targeting 4.5% of GDP growth in the fiscal year 2025-2026, with nearly half of public funds allocated to education, health, and social services. Egypt's Agiba Petroleum Company, a joint venture between EGPC and Italy's Eni, has discovered a new oil field, Arcadia West, in the Western Desert and has already brought it online. Drilled at the Arcadia 28 well, the site revealed a high-quality reservoir producing 2,500 barrels of oil equivalent per day. The discovery shows the nearby Iris field, which continues output at 7,500 barrels of oil equivalent per day. Geologically, Arcadia West is significant for uncovering a new productive zone within the Massaget Formation, previously thought to lack reservoir potential. Swift connection to existing infrastructure helped minimize costs and delays. Egypt's automotive market continued its recovery in May, with total vehicle sales jumping 15.9% month-on-month to 14.3K units, the highest since June 2022. According to data from the Automotive Marketing Information Council, passenger cars rose 13.1% to 11.1K units, while trucks and buses saw sharper monthly gains of 28% and 23.6% respectively. Year-on-year sales surged 127.7%, up from 6.3K units in May 2024. The market's rebound builds on a 13% annual recovery in 2024 after FX-related supply disruptions. The Egyptian Meteorological Authority has announced a spike in humidity levels across the country, raising the perceived temperature by an average of 4 C above recorded shade temperatures. Extremely hot and humid conditions will dominate during the day, especially inland, while the north coast will experience hot, humid weather with milder temperatures at night and early morning. Maritime navigation is also expected to be disrupted in some areas along the coasts of Marsa Matruh, El Alamein, Alexandria, and El Bahira. Wind speed are expected to range from 50 to 70 kilometers per hour, and waves are expected to rise from 2 to 3.5 meters. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin, and here is what we have been covering. The Egyptian president welcomes the Sudanese Sovereign Council chair in El-Sisi. Egypt launches a healthcare project to support Sudanese residents with kidney failure. And Egypt's finance ministry to begin disbursing 50% of overdue export rebate payments starting August the 7th. Well, that's all for now. I'm Hala Al-Hamalawi. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay updated by following Q News for the latest developments.